10 poorest states in Mexico. The North American country of Mexico is no stranger to poverty. Its poverty state has been linked to its high crime rate, such that both are inseparable. Though this poverty is felt in all parts of the country, the southern region has been the most afflicted. As you would see in this video, 3 states in this region have an average poverty rate of 69.8%. This is significantly higher than the national poverty rate of 28.10% as of 2020. Of course, these are not the only poor states in Mexico, and they are not even the poorest. We present in this video the 10 poorest states in Mexico for your information and consideration. You may need this fact one day. 10. Campeche. We begin with the state of Campeche in southeast Mexico. This state is bordered by Tabasco to the southwest, Quintana Roo to the east, the Orange Walk district of Belize to the southeast, Yucatan to the northeast, and the Petén department of Guatemala to the south. With its 2020 population of 928,363, it's one of the poorest states in the country. In Campeche, a substantial number of residents had no access to sewage systems, a water supply network, a restroom, and electricity in 2020, according to government estimates. As of that year, 44.7% of the population was living in abject poverty, while this figure even rose to 50.5% in 2012. According to government figures, as released by several credible websites, 46.2% of those living in this state are poor. 9. Zacatecas. The next on our list is Zacatecas, a state with 58 municipalities, with Zacatecas also as its capital city. Located in north-central Mexico, it shares its northwestern border with the state of Durango, northern with Coahuila, western with Nayarit, eastern with San Luis Potosí and Nuevo, León, and southern border with Jalisco, Guanajuato, and Aguascalientes. The state, with its 2020 population of 1,622,138, has diversified its economy from mining to agriculture, communication, and tourism, among others. This has not brought any remarkable improvement in the economy. Rather, the standard of living of the residents of the state of Zacatecas has been plummeting. Some 46.2% of those people are living in poverty as of the last check. This had become more apparent since 2015. 8. Tlaxcala. Tlaxcala also has been regularly featured on the list of poor states. The state, with 60 municipalities, having Tlaxcala City as its capital, is located in east-central Mexico, precisely in the Altiplano region. It has a current population of 1,342,977, and 48.4% of these live below the poverty line. According to a United Nations source, 0.54% of the Tlaxcalan population as of 2020 lacked access to sewage systems. At about that time, some 0.27% of them were unable to enjoy a water supply network. About 0.46% did not have a bathroom, while 0.31% had no electricity. There appears to be no respite in view for the residents of this state unless a more serious effort is made by the authorities. 7. Morelos. It takes serious determination, thoughtful economic planning, and a lot of financial discipline for a landlocked state to thrive economically. Morelos in south-central Mexico is one such state. Bordered to the north by Mexico City and to the northeast and northwest by that state, Puebla to the east and Guerrero to the west, its economy, which is on agriculture, tourism and urbanization, has not thrived for decades. Currently, over half of the Morelense, as the residents of the state are called, live in poverty. With the 2020 population estimate of 1,971,520, the poverty rate in Morelos is 50.8%. The state population density is also high, as 1,000 residents have to share a square mile. 6. Tabasco. The state of Tabasco is another poor one in the southeastern region of the country. Bordering the states to Campeche to the northeast, it shares borders with other poor states of Veracruz and Chiapas towards west and south respectively. With its 2020 population estimate of 2,402,598, it is the 20th most populous state. Unfortunately, 53.6% of the residents are very poor. This makes it the 6th poorest state. Based on that same 2020 estimate, 2.45% of the population in Tabasco have no access to sewage systems. Water supply is not available to about 6.16%, while 2.33% don't have a bathroom of their own and 0.66% have to live without electricity. 5. Puebla. This is a state in east-central Mexico. Puebla is bordered by the Veracruz to the north and east, Guerrero and Oaxaca to the south, and the west by Hidalgo, Mexico, and Tlaxcala as one of the poorest states in the country. The population of Puebla, according to the 2020 estimate by National Population Commission, is 6,583,278, making it the fifth most populous state in the country. Unfortunately, a whole of 58.9% of its population lives in poverty. Based on that estimate, 0.72% of Poblanos don't have access to sewage systems and 2.23% lack access to a water supply network. About 0.50% don't have a bathroom, while 0.20% live without electricity. 4. Veracruz. Now let's talk about Veracruz, a very populous state in Mexico. With a 2020 estimate of 8,062,579, the state is the fourth most populous there. By land area, however, it's the 11th largest with a total of 27,731.2 square miles. Its large population, nevertheless, doesn't give it economic prosperity, as a huge 61.8% of them live in poverty. The state, with 212 municipalities and Jalapa Enriquez as its capital city, shares its borders with 7 states of Tamaulipas, San Luis Potosí, and Hidalgo, including the ones on the list such as Puebla, Oaxaca, Chiapas, and Tabasco. By comparing its rankings in population and land area, you may have an idea of why it's poor. A state with a population density of 290 per square mile, ranking 10th in the country, needs serious economic coordination to offer citizens a high standard of living. 3. Oaxaca. With a difficult social climate to contend with, the state in the southeastern area of Mexico finds itself the third poorest in the country. Sharing its borders with Guerrero, Puebla, Veracruz, and Chiapas, also on this list, Oaxaca's main industry, tourism, remains undeveloped, no thanks to the state's various indigenous populations' struggles over the right to develop its natural resources. Also, a lack of infrastructure and mismanagement are not helping. Consequently, the poverty rate in Oaxaca currently stands at 66.4% of its 4,132,148 residents, according to the 2020 estimate. There's also a high level of illiteracy in the state, as 15% of the residents are illiterate, much higher than the national average. The state's 16 indigenous peoples, with the Zapotecs and the Mixtecs being the most popular, live far across hilly terrain, resulting in extreme dispersion. 2. Guerrero. As the second economically disadvantaged state in Mexico, Guerrero rivals Chiapas as the poorest state in Mexico. However, we would be kind to rank it second based on the facts and figures available to us. Guerrero, with a population of 3,540,685, is bordered by Michoacán to the north and west, Oaxaca to the east, Morelos and Mexico to the north, and Puebla to the northeast. Based on the economic and societal development in Guerrero, it was long projected that by 2020, 10.8% of the Guerrero population would lack access to sewage systems, water supply would be a luxury for 10.1%, while 9.35% wouldn't have a restroom, and 1.68% electricity. All these have come to pass on a grander scale. The state currently has 66.5% of its residents in one form of poverty or the other. 1. Chiapas. Chiapas is unquestionably the poorest state in Mexico. The state, comprising 124 municipalities, with Tuxtla Gutiérrez as its capital and largest city, has the highest poverty rate in Mexico. This southernmost state shares the same or worse poverty attributes with its neighboring states of Oaxaca to the west, Tabasco to the north, Veracruz to the northwest, and Petén, Quiché, and Huehuetenango to the east. They're also among the poorest, and at least 2 of them are on this list, as you have seen. The state, with a huge population of 5,543,828, has been on the list of the poorest states in Mexico for so long. In 2012, some 74.7% of its residents were living in poverty. As the population is growing, the poverty rate is increasing. Currently, over 76.4% of the residents of this city are living in acute deprivation. Indigenous people in this state, as in other places and elsewhere in Mexico, have historically been subjected to systemic maltreatment and marginalization by Mexicans of European descent, particularly landowners with significant wealth. This is playing some role in further immersing the state deeper into poverty. What do you think of these poorest states in Mexico? Please tell us what you feel or know about the states. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell.